Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. Hope you all are having a great Thursday, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those of us who are at I almost said The Hague. Those of us who are in Germany, in Dusseldorf, I don't have to say I hope. You could tell you guys are having an amazing, amazing, amazing time. I am like so enjoying all the photos, all the videos. There are numerous, and I have to put some more in our community page. So, for those of you who are not on social media, who are not on Twitter or Instagram or something, or TikTok, wherever you are, that you at least can see some. And so it has been an amazing, I am so full and overwhelmed. I'm assuming a lot of you are probably feeling the same way as I am feeling. I mean, oh my goodness. Um, and I am just looking at the chat right now. When I first came on, I put a note for Karen M, who is our awesome moderator, who came on, and she's like, "Hello, pedal," and I'm like, it was just Karen M, and I was like, Karen, I think you and I are going to be the only ones. And I just posted this to her because she was the only one there, and I was like, oh my gosh, Karen, I think you and I are going to be the only ones there. But I'm seeing like a lot of my friends are coming in. So hello, guys. I want to say hello to everyone as we go along. I just showed Wendy and Miss Viv and Martine. Hello. I don't know that I've seen you here before, but hello, Louise, Alma, Khadijah, Kathy, Hazel, Mama Jane, Louise, Auntie Jane, and all of our other friends coming in. So I'm just going to say hello as we go along because we have a lot to cover today. But it's just been, again, I'm sure you guys are full. I am full. I am just like over the moon with how the people of Dusseldorf has embraced the games. The world has embraced the games. I literally was in such shock today. I literally had to retweet of all news agencies, Fox News actually had a beautiful report on the games. I think the reporter is a vet. He sounded like at least from what he said, he was a vet, and he had literally had a beautiful report. He interviewed some of the American athletes there, and it was a beautiful report. I was just like, whoa, you know. As what's her name, Stacey Abrams said, a broken clock is right at least one time a day. This is one of those situations. Like Fox News, literally American Fox News, had a really beautiful report about the games, and I was just like, knock me over with a feather, you know. And I was just like, people have just embraced these games, and I'm so happy that the people of Dusseldorf are coming out, schools are coming out, tons of young people are coming out and supporting the games. And oh my goodness, they are having a great time. Hope you guys were able to at least be part of the live streams. And I was on the live stream yesterday with a bunch of us, squaddies were on the live stream, and we were enjoying the swimming, the table tennis, a little bit of I think it was a basketball as well yesterday. So it was just like really, it's been amazing. So if you haven't seen any of the games, it is on the Invictus Dusseldorf YouTube channel. It's live, so you can see the games and you can enjoy as well. I really enjoyed the swimming commentators. You could tell he was Australian, and it's just like, oh, I love that accent. And so it's been really, really amazing. So I hope you guys have been having a great time, whether following it via social media, like Twitter or something, or or I should say, following it along live on YouTube. It's all in all, it's just been so amazing. And even without our faves there. I mean, these two are trying to kill us. I swear to you, these two are trying to look at these photos. And as a photographer, like, okay, I was look at things like, okay, it's 1 second in time when you take a shot. It's not like that's a whole 5 minute, thing or whatever. It usually sometimes just like a second. But those moments, you capture those moments and you look at it and you're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. These two are, like Tyler Perry was saying, like, the relationships, like if I don't have that, I don't want it. And so many I remember even the kid who did all of those videos when they were at the Beyonce concert and totally was mocking the press because they were dying to get his videos. And he's like, no, and he humiliated them the whole time. Now, I think they're trying to get back at him, but he is just still mocking them. And so that's one of the things he said when, in one of his videos, it's like, if someone doesn't hold me like that, I don't want it, there's something about these two, and it's just like, oh my goodness. I mean, look at them. They're so adorable. And the first two photos, like, guys, go get a room or something. Go to your room. But it's just the love and the joy that they have. And it's so much like you're like, oh, I mean, to the point where Hello Magazine, which was one of those tabloids that we all hated too, along with the rest, you know, I think they were the ones that did what is the Well Child Awards, and they did the Well Child Awards, and they've been following this as well. I'm assuming their reporters are there in Dusseldorf, and amazingly enough, they've been like putting out articles, I guess, about the games. And someone said, and I didn't see it, because I have them blocked, so and I forgot to look. But some squaddies were saying that they turned off their comments, and the fact that to see an outlet that started off being very nasty, even though they would do these like love things about loving each other and all of that stuff, they would put out some nasty articles about the Sussexes. And now they are covering it and just like, oh, they are now in love with the Sussexes, apparently, and to the point where they even close their comments to the crazies that usually accumulate under their posts. And so it's just like, oh, well, what do you know? I mean, I'm telling you, Fox News doing a positive report on the Sussex, on the games, and not necessarily the Sussexes, but the games that, Harry found. I mean, this is Rupert Murdoch here. But I mean, I'm not telling you that to go over to, jumping over to Fox or anything like that. They're still horrible. They're still, not even news. But it was just so shocking that it was just like, oh my goodness, And so, but these two, I'm like, oh my gosh. I just like, oh my word, I love it. And of course, this was yesterday. They had several, wardrobe changes, and it was just like every single one. And, for those of you who are into fashion, just about everything Meghan wore yesterday. I mean, I'm sure, Duchess of Success is more a fashion person than I am. So, and by the time I realized about the fashion, this presentation thing was too large, so I had to I couldn't add it to this because StreamYard only takes a certain a certain size of file, and I can't go over 50 megs. So it's like I had to be pick and choose what it is I want to talk about today, and so I had to literally take some stuff out. And I was like, okay, we'll do fashion another time. Plus, I'm horrible at fashion anyway, so you're not going to be missing anything. But just about everything she wore pretty much sold out, including apparently she was wearing these sneakers yesterday. Oh, and I forgot to even bring in a picture of that. Well, my file is too big anyway, so I got to do that another time. But apparently these sneakers are $700 and something. I'm like, there are sneakers that are worth $700 and something. And I guess I'm assuming, I think they said it was from Hermes or something like that. And so I was just like, $700 and something for sneakers? Would you know that thing? Meghan wore that thing, and that thing was sold out. The sweater that she was wearing when we first saw her yesterday was sold out, and it was just like, oh my goodness. And I don't know, was it J. Crew or wherever she was wearing that sweater from? the site crashed. And I was just like, what on earth? How, and these are not outlets that, that it, having a bunch of people come and, purchase something at one time. They've had online, their online store have been there for a while, I'm assuming. And for it to crash yesterday, and it was just like, oh my goodness. So I don't know if the shorts she was wearing crashed too. I know this morning, I think it was the sweater that she was wearing, like a little, like a tank top thing, that sold out. And it was just like, oh my word. I'm telling you, I cannot keep up with Meghan and her fashion. We'll do fashion another time. And again, I'm not a fashion person, but it's just like, wow. Just wow. And I'm telling you, with all the wonderful things we've had and we've seen with Meghan and Harry, this is why I am so much against paparazzi photos, in those invasive photos, when it's on their private time, because when they give so much. You get so much. There was no reason to be posting paparazzi photos. There's no reason to be posting tabloid articles, and then faking outrage about the articles, which you just post because you want content, and you have to say something, so you fake outrage, and you know how this stuff work. There really is no reason. And the funny thing is, with us being mute the last few days, it's seeing how the narrative and the tone of coverages have been going down. And again, because when we're mute and we're not engaging, they have to change their narrative to get engagement. The thing is, we don't need them. They need us. They need our attention. They need us to engage with them in order for them to be effective, to effectively spread their narrative. If we don't engage, they have to stop and they have to change it. And you're starting to see the tone change. Why? Because we're not buying what they're selling. And this, again, is a supply and demand business. If we're not demanding it, they're not going to supply it. Because, well, why would you have a whole supply of stuff when nobody's buying? If you have a store, you're just not going to do that, because why? You're not going to make money. So it's wonderful. And I hope people are understanding now why it's so important to mute. If we want to see change, we have to change. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to change what we consume, because what we consume is what they're going to give. And so, again, this is only, the mute has been only for a few days, but I'm hoping that people will see the benefit and just stop altogether. We don't need them, So, yeah, that's my whole feel about that. But it's been amazing to see the wonderful things that we have been getting. Oh, Black Queen, our awesome moderator, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you. And also, awesome. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you. But today, with their many wardrobe changes, but today it's just I don't know why I am in love with anything Nato tweets, and I'm like, Nato, because it's so elevated in my mind, Nato. And so, I mean, hey, they are like sort of, the world come together, and you have all the defense ministers and stuff that are part, and the countries that are part of Nato. And so they tweeted Harry and Meghan had a meeting with them this morning. And so that's the first time we saw them today, part of the meeting. And that's the huge NATO contingent on the far left there, the top picture. And so they all got together and took a whole group photo. And so they tweeted out today, happening now, NATO Day at Invictus 2023 in Dusseldorf. The whole JFCBS family went to Dusseldorf today to show our support to all wounded warriors. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle met Commander JFCBS General Guglielmo Luigi Miglietta. I may have just butchered that. And JFCBS staff members with their families, and joined our group picture. So this is where they are meeting. And this is the impact of if people just don't understand it. I know especially some in the UK have this I don't know what it is with people there. It's like they seem to not understand the influence that Prince Harry has. And so they go along with the tabloids with their nonsense and not understanding that this man had one, he is still an HRH, which gives him privileges that ordinary regular folks don't have. But his standing in the military community is at such a level where NATO will bring their whole team to something, that he's created. That should, that should sort of clue in those in the UK. Will they get a clue? Most likely not. But it's amazing to see. I mean, we saw them last year at The Hague as well. But this time they brought the whole team. And the whole team is there taking a photo. I mean, it is amazing to see the support of the military around the world. These are the men, these are the people who are protecting our peace around the world. And they're there in Dusseldorf. This is their day. This is NATO Day at, the Invictus Games. And it's amazing. And again, I've been so impressed with all the nations except the UK once again. Just like, I don't understand. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? All the nations and their government, their military, everybody supporting the Invictus Games and their war and their veterans. I mean, it has been amazing to watch once again. It's one of the things that stands out. It is just so clear. And then what is also so clear is how the British veterans have been treating. Now they're starting to talk. And I was hoping they would start talking about it at The Hague, after Hague, but now they're starting to really voice they're really shocked and just dismay at the government and the royal family not supporting them at the games, and really not supporting them other than when they want to put on, these costume jewelry and pretend like they're part of the military. And so I'm glad. I hope they start speaking out and making it very, very clear. And so, but again, it is just, for me, it's wonderful to see the support. I mean, the military community in Germany has been amazing. It is just, the people have been, it's just like, oh, I love it. But this gives you, it tells you when, these men and women are coming out there supporting the military meeting, they're like, yes, we are part of this. This to tell you the incredible standing that Prince Harry have with the military community. Again, these are the men and women who are protecting the world. And I just love this photo. Just because. I love this. Welcome to the Invictus Games. And what's cute about the photo is the officers or the soldiers who are out there taking photos. They're like all have their cameras out, snapping photos. It's just like, oh, these are Harry's brothers from around the world. And then there's a guy in the shorts in the front. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like all the different dress codes. He is a volunteer, obviously, with the yellow. They're all in the yellow, the volunteers. But it's like the different dress codes. I just thought this is just the most hilarious photo. Harry and Meghan are well dressed back there, and he's in the front like, I'm just rocking my shorts and my Invictus t-shirt, and then the soldiers are in the back. It's very funny. I love it. Just see. I'm gonna go through because I have a lot, so I'm gonna get to the chat in a bit. But I want to go through most of these, and then I'm gonna come into the chat and to see what you guys are saying. And also, in that same vein, thank you, this guy, Chris Barron Smith, he's been posting some really cool stuff. Is that Invictus Games brought together military delegations from all over the world. And, here in the pictures are American, German, and Mali military personnel. Talk about, and so many of them are there in their uniforms. It's just so beautiful. I was just like, and the camaraderie and all of that stuff with all the military personnel. It is just so incredibly beautiful. And you can add Canada because that's a Canada down here as well. And it's just like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Plus, I generally love to see them in their uniform. It's a beautiful thing. And it's so funny. I'm so like not. I'm obviously like anti-war. I'm like not. Wish none of this was happening. But I love their uniforms. It's just like wow. Um, and then, of course, I'm sure by now you all know that Meghan met her relatives. Megan has met her relatives, and I don't know why the top part is so stretched again. I don't know what is up with this thing. But it's like Invictus Nigeria tweeted this out. Prince Harry and Meghan came to see the Nigerian Team Nigeria at Invictus Games. It's been all shades of amazing. And it's never a dull moment with Team Nigeria. And they are so correct because Team Nigeria has been the life of the party. These guys know how to have fun. They have been, talk about amazing. So this is Meghan and her Nigerian relatives. They have named her, given her a new name. As you know, we know Harry also have a African name. What is this African name? Oh goodness, I'm all of a sudden I'm forgetting Harry's African name that Prince Cecil gave him. And so we got this a little bit, and there is an article with the Nigerian team talking about the name and what it means to them to give it to her, but I don't know. Couldn't figure out where it came from, and I'm like, I don't want to post something if it's on one of the tabloids. So until I find out where that article is from, then I will, probably talk about it tomorrow. But this is basically what it says: Harry and Meghan meeting with members of competitors from the Nigerian team following the wheelchair basketball fixture this morning. They're being presented with a plaque from the Chief of Defense in Nigeria, and Meghan has been given a new nickname, Amira Ngozi Lolo. There you go, Amira Ngozi Lolo. Amira is warrior princess from a legend. Ngozi means blessed, and Lolo is loyal wife. So there you go. And it's so funny. Part of the article that I read, they were saying like, every man needs a good woman behind him. I was like, I think Meghan will subscribe to that behind him part of that thing, because Meghan is more about beside him. We beside each other. But that's kind of that's where they are with that. It's like every man need a good woman behind him. It's like, yeah, right. But our fave, her name is Ngozi. I'm sorry, Amira Ngozi Lolo. So there you go. That is Meghan's name. And and Harry is Mahali. I think it's Mahali that Prince Cecil gave him. So Mahali and Amira Ngozi Lolo. So there we go. And so it is so much fun. There's also a video that comes with it, of them singing. I don't know what I can't translate Nigerian, so I don't know what exactly they were saying, but they were having a great time doing it. So I absolutely love them. I mean, that Nigerian team, and a lot of the squaddies that are there are Nigerian. So they have the whole Nigerians come in from, I guess, around Europe. And we have squaddies who are Nigerian. They are just having a blast. So they have been the life of the party. And the person that we really have to thank for them being there is David Wiseman. As you can see, David is so funny. The picture at the bottom is David, the tallest, obviously, among all of them. David is so tall. It's funny. But there he is with the team at the top. They were also singing. I think when he met Harry and Meghan, David was also there. So David had posted this. He says, engaging with our Nigerian friends over the past 2 years has been awesome, and it's great to see them smashing it at Invictus Games. And so, yes, David is, and we've over the past year and something, we've been on this podcast talking about, David over there, especially when we learned about Nigeria. He's been at the forefront of getting them ready, getting them here. And so not just them, Team Colombia and also Team Israel. So there are lots of photos that we've done over the time of David and all of these countries working with the teams and to get them to the Invictus game. So their real credit, for really getting these teams to Invictus games got to be David and Derek, who is one of the people getting that really worked with David to get Nigeria here, and they're also working together to get Kenya here. That is actually the bottom picture on the left. That is David with the team from Kenya. So they are working, and we also saw one of the Kenyan senators meeting Harry and sitting with Harry at the games. I think I talked about it in the last episode. This is David in Kenya meeting with the team in Kenya at the bottom left. So they're really working to get more teams here as part of here. I mean, to get more teams at the Invictus games. And of course, that's David at the top right with Meghan hugging him last night. And also, I don't know if the lady next to him is his wife. I don't know what his wife looks like, but he is married with a few kids. So it might be, might not be, I don't know. But that's him sitting with Harry and Meghan in the front last night. And Derek's, he received an award from Harry. They were doing, they were at this, I guess, meeting thing that they did. And so Derek said, hard work indeed pays. I dedicate this recognition to Team Nigeria and Show. Show is David. That's his handle. And basically to David Wiseman for helping and making the first African nation country get here. So it's really great that he dedicated the award that he got from Harry to both David and the Team Nigeria. So I was just like, you go. And kudos to David Wiseman. And if you don't know, David is also in the Heart of Invictus. So if you haven't seen the Heart of Invictus, go see it. He is probably one of the first people you'll see in the Heart of Invictus. So kudos for David. Great job. Also, I think this is one of my favorite pictures ever. I mean, and you could tell from this picture what is happening. Meghan meeting her Nigerian relatives, all of them gathered around, and her Ukrainian ones in the back, all of them. And you could just tell when I saw this picture, I'm like, I bet you someone said, Meghan, I love you or something. And Harry grabbed her and like, she is mine. And lo and behold, one of the squaddies said something to that effect is what happened. Like, they are all wanting to love up on Meghan, and Harry's like, she belongs to me. And so I love this photo. I mean, it's just such a joy. I mean, all the Nigerian, it's like, I mean, you should see there's a video of, it's like madness around Harry and Meghan, hugging and kissing and hugging. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And there was this wonderful photo, and I'm just realizing I forgot it, with Meghan hugging this little girl. And it was just like, oh. And a little girl was sitting right in front of them, and it's just such a beautiful photo. And I forgot about, there's so many photos. It's just like, oh my goodness, it's like, just like, I just love it. The love is so there. And look at them. Look at these photos. I'm just going to move myself from there. Look at these photos with all of their relatives taking photos, hugging, just having a grand old time with Harry and Meghan. And it's great because, Harry and Meghan has been going around and they've just been meeting all the teams, the people, families from, they're all getting FaceTime. And so it is just absolutely wonderful to see. It's like, and I'm so happy, Meghan, because last year Meghan was there for the first few days and then she had to go home. She went home because obviously they have two little kids. And I'm so happy that Harry gets to be with her for the end of this because, just seeing how happy he is and having so much fun with everybody, you would assume that, last year it must have been a little bit lonely for him there by himself. Everybody have their family there and enjoying it with their loved ones, and he's by himself and he's giving and giving and giving. But I mean, how beautiful it is now that he has Meghan there and he has someone he loves too, and they could share as family. And I just think it was such a wise idea for her to be here now and them spend this time together and just meeting everybody's family and all their extended families, that's it just warms my heart. I mean, look at all the aunties and uncles and everything around them. It just is wonderful. It is just so wonderful to see. I'm just like, I'm telling you. And of course, he's meeting all the others as well. This is, they were sitting with Team Australia. I think Team Australia, I don't remember which. I think this was the when they were at swimming. Actually, they were sitting with the Australian, this Australian. I don't know if they were a couple or whatever, but they were both from Australia. And she was saying that she was talking to Meghan, and Meghan was talking about the kids, and that she's very excited to bring them in the future. They're just too young right now to really understand. Obviously, they're little ones. And because of all the things that they, going around and meeting everyone, it'll be a little hard to have two little kids to come, especially that young right now. And then he was saying that Harry was talking to him just about what's going on in Australia, really about the mental health of the team and the vets there. So they were talking a lot about mental health and just his concern for them and wanting to make sure that that area and stuff was taken care of. And so they had a really great time just chatting. And of course, it wouldn't be Team Australia if they did not give Harry his swim trunks. I mean, how many of these has Harry gotten by now? I love this. Invictus Foundation, they tweeted it out. It says, it wouldn't be an Invictus Games if the Aussies didn't give our patron, the Duke of Sussex, a lovely piece of swimwear. This time it has all the teams on, all the team flags on his swim trunks. It is hilarious. They are so hilarious. They always give him one of these. I'm like, imagine Harry putting one of these stuff on. It's just like, really hilarious. Walking over to the beach in Montecito with one of these swim trunks on. That would be the most hilarious things ever. And of course, here he is with, they are actually both of them, they're with Team New Zealand in the bottom right photo. So they are going around and meeting every single person. I mean, it's what Harry has been doing the entire time he's been there. And of course, they went over to Team Italy and got a shirt. They gave Meghan a shirt. But, we remember Italy had claimed Meghan years ago. I think this was in 2019. I think the Sussexes were still in the UK, I think they were still in the UK when this was happening, when I think Italy played the UK. I think it was like the European Cup or something, and they beat the UK, and they had this flag. Meghan is one of us. So they claimed her way back then. And so it just stands to reason that Meghan has an Italian t-shirt. So she is one of them. So Meghan is now American, Italian, Nigerian, or American, Nigerian, Italian. So there you go. It's so really, really wonderful to say. And again, I'm just gonna go through all of these, and then I'll come to the chat in the end, and we'll chat for a bit. And along with all of that, stuff going on, they're the real stories that are. And I'm glad that they're being highlighted. I mean, there's so many videos. Again, I'm gonna post these videos, the links to these videos in our community page, so at least you can click on it and get it. Again, I don't know, especially Invictus stuff, it would be copyrighted, so I wouldn't want to do a short on any of these stuff, just in case I don't want to get strike on them. And plus, it's their copyrighted stuff. I don't want to use people's copyrighted stuff anyway in that way. So I will put the link there so you can just go and click on it, and that way I don't get into trouble. I don't want to get a strike. But anyway, so but it's been amazing watching these watching just the and reading the stories and watching the videos of their stories. On the right, it says, thank you, James Wharton, for posting. It says, just spent an inspiring hour with Francisco Gennaro, a former soldier in the Colombian army. He lost his legs in an operation during against drug lords trying to rescue hostages. Today, he's a gold medal winning sportsman who supports fellow veterans in their recovery. And again, he's a double amputee, and he is amazing. He is, I mean, Team Colombia is amazing. I mean, if you've been watching the swimming yesterday, they won so many, at least about 4 or 5 of the races they won. And I mean, who knew they were fish? I'm telling you, our Colombian vets are fish, man, in our water. They have like adopted and just really just drawn to these games. It's kind of like, and all the new teams, they're all doing so well. So it's really incredible. And we saw actually a picture, I think it was him and Harry. Oh, actually no, it's the other Francisco, who was there was a team with him and Harry, but I'm sorry, a picture with him and Harry. But it's really, I mean, to lose both your legs and to really be able to pick yourself up and be like, you know what, I can do. And so it's been amazing to watch, double and some triple amputees do amazing things for during these games. So kudos to Francisco. And this story, Rachel Kerrigan, oh my goodness, this is such an amazing story. She, I think after she got injured, and I guess she was, left the military. She said she was in such a place where literally she couldn't even decide what socks to put on, And her daughter, her 8-year-old daughter, became her caregiver. Her 8-year-old daughter would be like, "Mommy, what socks would you like to wear?" And it's her 8-year-old daughter who did some research trying to help her, who found the Invictus Games and suggested the Invictus Games to her. And that's how she got to the Invictus Games. And here she is at the games. And it's just amazing. Again, I'm going to put the link to, so that you can hear it from herself. And thank you, 8-year-old daughter, who took care of her, because so many of these vets are, when they leave, whether it's through injury or whatever, and they're not in the military, they just go to a dark place, man. It is a dark place, and to see them shine and be smiling and enjoying themselves here at the games, it is amazing. Some of it heart-wrenching stories, so Invictus Games was tweeting, Rachel Kerrigan's story of how she found the games is remarkable. We were honored that she shared at the IGF conversation with us at IG23. And so again, they have these group meets where they all get together and they share their stories. And I'm telling you, that's why so many people leave these games so changed. And so kudos to her for sharing her story, and to her 8-year-old daughter. And this vet, Ottavio Morabio, oh my goodness, his story again is so, it breaks your heart. He talks about his daughter. And Invictus tweeted, says, at the heart of the games, we witness strength beyond measure. Meet Ottavio Morabio from Team Italy, who carries the memory of his beloved daughter, Georgia. Despite his profound loss, he's here at the Home for Respect, reminding us all that love endures and the human spirit can rise even from the deepest sorrow. And his daughter, Georgia, the love of his life, who he lives for, she passed away last year. And so it's amazing that he is here. He had to pick himself up in spite of his grief, and got to get himself to the games. And it is amazing, these stories, and to see him fight through to live in spite of his loss. And it's just, I mean, it is heartrending, some of these stories, and to see these men and women out there, it is, I'm telling you, Invictus Games saves lives. And this is one from Team US. They won the basketball, won the gold for the basketball, wheelchair basketball yesterday. And this is one of the vets. He was crying. He was in tears. And Harry gave him a hug. And Meghan and Harry were doing the medal ceremony. And Meghan was putting on the medals. And Harry was meeting and talking to them. And this is them. This was such a touching moment. I saw the video of this. It's like, oh my goodness. He was so emotional. I'd love to hear his story. Yeah, it just, amazing. And this this was so great. And again, it's like all of these news outlets that I've sort of like been like, okay, here's the hand and blocking them. They've actually come up with some good Invictus news coverage, and it's just like, okay. But this is one of those. And this, oh my goodness. And I realized I just completely forgot his name. Shoot. Oh, how could I have done that? I apologize, but I will put the link in our community page so you can get his name, his full name. His name is Garrett, but his full name. And I apologize for not. It's like, Garrett, I apologize. But he is talking about his, meeting Prince Harry, and just he is also in the heart of Invictus when Harry went to Hawaii, and so he talked a lot about his relationship with Harry and just how amazing it is to just be friends with him and just know him and how it has helped him so much. And this is a little bit part of Garrett's story. It says, after a ruptured brain aneurysm in 2016, Garrett has navigated a loss of coordination and balance, hearing, vision, speech, and cognitive function per the 15th wing. He retired from the Air Force in 2018 after over 27 years of service and has found strength in competing in the Department of Defense Warrior Games and the Invictus Games. Prince Harry, who rose to the rank of captain during his decade of service in the British Army and deployed twice to Afghanistan, was inspired to launch the Paralympic sports tournament on the international stage after attending the Warrior Games in 2013. At the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf, Garrett is competing in wheelchair rugby. They just won the gold, swimming, and track and field. And the week began with a win. The Air Force vet helped Team USA cinch first place against Team UK in the wheelchair rugby gold medal match on Sunday. The Duke of Sussex personally presented medals and with his signature sense of play. And so Garrett is saying, at the gold medal match, as he was about to put the medal on me, he grabbed my beard and shook it. Garrett said with a laugh of his interaction with Harry. He said a few words to me and gave me a big hug. It's awesome to feel that he recognizes me, comes up and treats me like I am one of his friends, like all veterans do when we don't talk to each other for maybe months or years. And when we get together, it's like we never left. That's what it feels like when I talk to him. And it's so funny. Gabe said the same thing. It's like their relationship, they don't see each other for a while and they meet up, and it's like the conversation just continued from when they left off the last time. And it's wonderful to see Harry again, he's part of them. That's his world. These are his people, and it is so wonderful to see them have this kind of relationship. It's just oh my goodness, it is absolutely. Oh, I read stuff like that and I'm like, oh my gosh. It is just so wonderful. And, I'm telling you, like I was saying before, the new teams, Colombia, Israel, and Nigeria have really taken to the games like fish to water, really. Especially in the case of Team Colombia, with their swimming, and Team Nigeria, they actually just won their first the sitting volleyball has started today, and they just won their first match against Team Canada. I was just like, whoa. And Colombia just won their first match against Team Germany in sitting volleyball. I was just like, what? There and Team Israel, as you can see at the bottom there, they've been doing an amazing job with table tennis. And I'm telling you, these three new teams have been like, and they've all been such a joy, you know, and so inspiring. And it's just like, oh my word. As you can see here, you know, the rehabilitation, I guess the rehabilitation site, talking about team Colombia. It says this was last point, which team Colombia, sitting volleyball team in the Invictus DE, beat Canadian team. There were great chances for they have a great chance for a medal. Volleyball team is made up of 6 disabled vets of the police, of the public force. And so they beat Team Canada. It's, you know, Invictus Nigeria, it's like sports means recovery. Sports means mutual support. Sports means endurance. Sports means transition. To Nigeria, sports has different meanings. And, you know, they're asking, well, what does it mean to you? I love Nigeria. Their Twitter and Jewish community down here tweeting about Team Israel. Team Israel takes home 5 medals in first time at Invictus Games. 2 Israeli team face off in the table tennis mixed doubles finals, promising Israel both silver and gold medals. And it's just, I mean, these games, and of course Nigeria has won a few medals as well. It's just such a great, I mean, you know, such a great thing to see that, you know, I remember when we heard about Team Israel, I was having issues, if you guys remember. I was like, I'm not here for Israel, but I've gotten over it. I'm like, you know what, they're vets. Hey, you know, go for it. And they've been doing great. And so I've gotten over my issues. And so with these vets, and they're having a great time, and I'm supporting all of them. So there you go. They are having a great time. And our piece today, this is Yulia, if you don't know, this is Yulia or Tyra, Yulia Paevska, who obviously we all know, we've been following since The Hague, when she was supposed to be at The Hague Games and was kidnapped by Russian forces, and then her daughter came to The Hague and really, and the Invictus Games totally made it a world news thing, and everybody in the world knew. And then of course, Russia basically, I guess, had no choice but to release her, and she's released, and now she's at the games. She actually, I think, won a medal yesterday. If I am not mistaken, won a silver medal in swimming yesterday. And I think she's also doing powerlifting. And so she met our piece yesterday. Actually today, Peace posted this today. And so P says, OMG, I got a big hug from Tyra. She's looking so well. And I love Tyra's fashion, man. You go, Tyra, with all her tattoos and her ripped jeans and everything. So they are doing great, and our piece is doing great out there. She is a volunteer, and she is one of the most fun volunteers. There are pictures of the Nigerian team. She's at the bench, and everybody's coming to visit her at the bench, including the whole Nigerian team came to visit her at her bench. So yeah, it's so wonderful to see our squaddies shine out there. She has taken pictures with JJ and others. So very, very cool and very, very exciting. So I cannot wait to hear from Peace, all her wonderful thing that's been going on with her and the other squaddies there, meeting so many wonderful people at the games. So yeah, it's just really, I'm just like, oh, you go, Peace. And then finally, oh my goodness, this was one of the cutest videos ever. I'm going to post a link to this as well. This little girl was on the court yesterday, I think, for basketball. And she was, I think it was before the game. Or maybe it was after, I don't know. But she was pushing her dad in his wheelchair around the court. It was the cutest thing. It's the cutest video you'll ever see. And then today I saw a picture of her hugging Meghan. I was like, oh, this is so adorable. Such the cutest little, I mean, the video is so adorable. She's like pushing her dad around the court in his wheelchair. And I love that this is just normal for these kids. So when they grow up, seeing people in wheelchairs, seeing people missing limbs, it's not going to be this, oh my gosh, something to stare at. It's norm for them. It's sad that it's norm, because then, people have missing limbs, but this is what it is. And, they're at the point where it's a generation that will grow up with empathy and love and respect for not just, the missing limb, but respect for what they can do. Because you should see all these kids with their flag, their country's flags on their faces, flags on their clothes, really cheering and excited for their dad, and really being so proud of them. And it's just like, this is a generation that's gonna come up filled with empathy and love and respect for people who in having a disability or any of those things. So I mean, I just think it's just fantastic. And of course, last year we saw Meghan, giving her coat to this lady at the games at the Hay, because it was cold, and and she didn't have a coat for the baby. She was just in that thing, that body thing that they put the baby in. And Meghan gave her coat to her so she would cover up the baby. And apparently, this is the baby at the bottom. She is here at Dusseldorf and met Meghan. And so it's just like, oh, it is just so wonderful to see, like, a year ago, and that baby grew, So it is just, I'm like, oh, team Netherlands. So, they're in the Netherlands color there, but it's just, I mean, I'm telling you, I am just so full. But anyway, that's all I got to share. I'm just gonna go in the chat and see what you guys are saying, and and yeah. So, oh, V, don't worry, the replay is there. No, she's like, oh no, I missed a lot of the podcast. I just did all that I wanted to say, so you can just go back, and the replay is always gonna be there. So no worries at all. I'm just glad you're here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna start from. I'm just gonna start from the bottom and go back up. I think that might be the easiest way to do. TBTV says, Lorna, me too. I have no idea what pickleball is, but it has my vote. Gabe is involved in pickleball, and he is all. He even went on that CBS show, and apparently his socks had pickleball on. That's how much he's doing pickleball. And he was in Montana, teaching vets out there in Montana about pickleball. And if you don't know, Montana, Wisconsin, all of the not Wisconsin, Wyoming, and all of those places out there have a ton of vets. I was in Wyoming performing for vets out there. There's a whole huge veteran community out there. So he was in Montana teaching vets about pickleball, and he talks about, just the community and all of that stuff, that playing pickleball helps with, sort of really help you get out of yourself and build community, which a lot of times, vets, because of what they've gone through, a lot of them want to stay by themselves, and it's hard for them to get out of themselves to be a part of a community. And pickleball has been helping them. So that's what he's doing. He is working for a pickleball foundation company, something like that. So he's all up into pickleball. So you go, Gabe. Let's see, Mashar. Hey, Mashar. Mashar says, yay, peace is making the round. She's truly meeting the great ones. I love Tyra and felt her dedicated service to her fellow soldiers, an honorable woman. Yes, 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 and yes. And peace is amazing. She and so many of the squaddies out there, I mean, they are just having a grand time. And really, they've been, and again, that's why we have not needed anything from the press at all, whether it's American or whatever, because the people who are there on the ground have been sharing so many wonderful stories and photos, and the different, like, Invictus organizations, whether it be Invictus Foundation, the Invictus Dusseldorf, US, the US teams, all the country teams, they have been tweeting so many things from the games that we literally don't need any news from the press at all. Because most of what we got is from them, and our squaddies are there taking tons of pictures and videos, and they are having a grand old time, including calling out one of the tabloid, talk about tabloid, one of those tabloids from the UK, The Sun, had one of their creepy reporters somehow got close to the Sussexes. They were sitting in, he was like really close to them in a section over from where they were. And there's a video, one of our squaddies got video of him sneaking photos. I mean, it's just so creepy, sneaking photos of the Sussexes. And it's so funny. He also posted one where I think someone from the Telegraph posted a video from the same angle. And, if you from the same angle he was at the games, and it was just so creepy. So we got him on video, and apparently now that video has now gotten to what I last heard about it, that video has now gotten to the security, the Sussex security, and that the security has been, they've passed it around so they know what he did. And so I'm like, good. I mean, it was so creepy. I mean, that man left the UK, come all the way to Germany. I mean, it's Germany, so I guess it's not that far. But he left there to come and to spy on the Sussexes. I was like, that, I mean, and he looked so creepy in that video. It's like, ew. So it's good to know that the Sussexes security now has that video and they are taking care of it. So good. I hope to never see him again. I hope they're like totally on the lookout for that creepy person. So anyways, moving on from that mess. Yeah, give me the creeps. Lana says, I want to see pickleball in the next Invictus game since Gabe is now a coach for a pickleball team in the US. I know, that would be really awesome. That one, I'm sure he's probably going to be lobbying for that. And also wheelchairs tennis would be, I mean, wheelchair tennis is huge. Wheelchair tennis is at the tennis tournaments. They're like, the majors like US Open, Wimbledon, they all have wheelchair tennis. And so actually the guy who won the US Open, I think he's won it the last 4 years or something like that. So yeah, I would love to see I'm such a tennis fan. I would love to see wheelchair tennis there as well. And hey, soccer, hello. I mean, it's so many things they could do. And so, I am rooting for wheelchair tennis and pickleball. That's what I'm rooting for. Not that I have any say in any of this stuff. So, let's see. Sonia says, "Pedal is a disgrace how now the British veterans are being treated by the royal family and the country for which they have fought. The Sussex squad proudly salute and thank you all for your service." Here, exactly. And the thing about this is, now that we are not engaging, the British press have no choice but to start reporting on that. They have no choice. And I've seen a couple, somebody posted a couple of screenshots, which I'm like, we're still in mute, people. But they posted a couple of screenshots about a couple of news outlets in the UK reporting on this very thing. And it's like, now that we're not, because we are not engaging, their coverage of whatever it is they need to cover is limited because they don't have as much of a, demand for what they've been. So now they're going to have to start reporting on the fact that the world is supporting their military veterans and their government and the royal family, who's head of the military, and give themselves all of these military titles that they didn't earn, and have all these medals that they did not earn, and yet they refuse to support their veterans. It is disgraceful. I spent all of last at The Hague, talking about this fact, and here it is. They've done it again. But now their press is starting to talk about it because it's very obvious. It is so obvious and so blatant and so despicable and so disgusting. And this is not a royal Harry Meghan thing. This is about men and women who have died for your country, who have limbs, who have thought of outing themselves or offing themselves, who are trying to get their life back. You, who is the head of the military, I don't care what your excuse is. You have no excuse for not supporting these men and women. You have no excuse whatsoever. The royal family should be at that games. Just like NATO found their whole team to get to Dusseldorf The royal family and their people should be there. And I'm not, this is not a royal anything. They are head of the military. This is where they should be. King Charles should be in Dusseldorf. Prince William should be in Dusseldorf, supporting their veterans. I don't care how they feel about Harry and Meghan. That is beside the point. I do not care. For their veterans to be at these games and even having the conscious thought of, wow, my government who sent me into war where I am now fighting for my life and my well-being, do not care. They don't care. For them to even be thinking about that now, it is disgraceful. It is so despicable. I cannot believe when I saw today that a veteran was talking about how bad it is that they're not supported. I'm like, I hold back tears because it's like, how? Why would you do that? But then, think of, a couple of weeks ago, you're giving yourself titles and giving yourself position over these same men. This, I'm telling you, if they were petty, this is where I'd be like, look, when Veterans Day come or whatever they call it in the, we call it Veterans Day or Memorial Weekend comes, I forgot what they call it in the UK. This is where I would ignore the royal family. They are not worthy of those titles. These people are just, they do not care about these veterans at all in any sense of the word. They do not care. They do not care. And for their despicable press to now be talking about this, you know it's bad. You know it's bad. It is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's what I knew they would do, but it's so galling. It is so galling for these men, for once again, for another year, for them to have to experience this. It is unforgivable what the royal family have done to these people. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm going to move on from them because it's too upsetting. It is way too upsetting. Mashar says, Harry could have made the military his life mission because it gave him purpose, but that was stopped. So now Invictus is his life mission, to continue to serve his brothers in arms, noble Harry. Exactly. Whether, some people think like, they pulled Harry out of the military so he could start royal duty or whatever. I don't know what the whole, I don't know what the, truth of that is. But to see him dedicate his life. And the thing about it is not just, he now dedicated, it's his genuine love for his brothers and sisters. It's just like, it's really, and I think that's what we see. They all talked about their relationship with Harry. It's just he just loves them. It's his brothers and sisters, and it shows in everything that he does. It's wonderful. It is so wonderful to see. Let's see. Having access to better up. Hi, Wilson. Wilson says, having access to better up the strengths, to better up the strengths, their mental health, then the IG for their physical health is wonderful. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you meant like better up, helping, because better up is coaching, and also focusing on mental health and mental well-being. And then the physical part with IG doing, it is, and again, there are so many things that are part of Invictus, the Invictus Foundation, that is not the game. So they all throughout, we've been reporting on so many things that Invictus does for their veterans, and so many sports related activities, and also Better Up, which is a mental coaching and mental health and all of those things, mental fitness, really focus on mental fitness. It's just, having all of those things. And then, they have, as part of the games, they have all of these other things that they're like, just like recovery, rehabilitation stuff that people, there's so many resources that they have there at the games that veterans, I mean, whatever it is they're going through, they can have help with. One of the things is so funny, and I didn't even bring it. I actually, the podcast yesterday, I talked about the dogs, that there are all these dogs at the Invictus Games because, they are support dogs for the veterans. And for so many of them have dog, I'm telling you, and I'm not even a dog person, but it was just so wonderful to see, including one of the dogs, Laszlo, who Peace, again, met on a train, and the dog had the little tag on his back that nobody can pet me other than Prince Harry. And then Prince Harry met the dog. And so Peace, when Peace shared it, it was shared by so many people. I think she said something like a few 100,000 people viewed it. And so it got back to Harry. Harry got to meet Laszlo. And so we're talking about that. The yesterday's podcast. And then the Invictus Games Foundation, again, there were too many things I couldn't put it in this podcast, but they tweeted about the dogs that they have, like, I guess it's a tent or something for comfort dogs, where that is there to help the vets, that they could come, I guess, and play with the dogs. There are all these dogs, and somebody had tweeted about, all the dogs that they see around, I guess the different venues and stuff, because so many of them, the dogs are like support dogs or in some way. And so it is just, it's wonderful how they have thought of everything. Anything that a vet would need is pretty much there at the Invictus Games and in the Invictus Village. And it's wonderful to see just the kind of support that they have there. Let's see. Helen says the one show on BBC has been highlighting a veteran every day, and JJ Chalmers has interviewed one of them to hear their story. Tomorrow, JJ is interviewing Prince Harry, which will be shown on One TV. Yes, there's a photo today, actually. R.S. Locke had a photo, which I had to take out because this was too big, of them filming that show. Actually, Harry was filming a show with JJ today. So I'm assuming that's the one that you will see on BBC One. I'm in the US, don't get BBC One, so I'm not gonna, but hopefully someone will post a video of it and we'll get to see that as well. Yes, let's see. So it's great that, if you want highlights and stuff. It's so funny, JJ posted this really cool video yesterday. He was filming the show and he was trying to do a behind the back shot into the basketball net, and on the show it didn't go, and then moments after, the camera kept rolling. He tried it again and the ball went in, and it was just like, oh my goodness. So he was able to post both of them, and he's like, thankfully the camera person kept the camera rolling, and so they were able to get the shot of him with the bat. It was the most amazing shot, and he was with Team UK, and they were all celebrating his basketball shot, like behind the back shot. It was like amazing. So let's see. And Lewis says, Italy versus England football games. The Sussexes were treated horribly on that night in front of William. Italy fans with a large chant, Meghan is one of us. Yes, yes, yes. That's the Italy flag. Yes. And that flag came when it says, Meghan is one of us. Yes. Yeah, and I remember that game because William was supposed to meet the winner, and he left and did not. I think he didn't recognize the Italian official that was sitting next to him. I guess some minister or something, and then he went off and did not meet, or at least go to the locker room and meet the winning Italian team. So sour loser there, and so yes, so yeah. Let's see. Lorna says, some of these veterans have gone to the Paralympic Games that showcase after the Olympics. Yes, So some of them have went to Paralympics, and it's so great with Paralympics because they've been tweeting about the Invictus Games as well. So they all support each other. So yeah, Paralympics, the Warrior Games, they've all been supporting the Invictus Games, and Invictus Games Foundation supports them as well. So I love the fact that they all support. There is no competition, that they all support each other. And so I also saw where, a lot of people were like, Prince Harry for the Nobel Prize. Remember after the Hague last year, we were all saying that we won Harry. So hopefully, and we have all been tagging the Nobel Prize with it. So hopefully, they'll consider giving Harry the Nobel. That would be amazing. A few people at Shutter Island would be like, oh my God, they will, knickers would be in a twist, pearls would be ripped, and everything. Plates would be flying, Let's see. Let's see. But the cool thing about this game, oh yes, we've been talking about, the Commonwealth Games that countries are running away and nobody wants to host it. And Korea, yes, they definitely they have put in their bid. And Italy, I had mentioned it and then I found it, but again, too many things to bring in here. And they are putting in their bid to host the games. They're like, we just want to host the games. They didn't even say what year. They're like, whenever, we just want to host it. So countries are lining up to host the 2019 games, and Italy is like, whenever, we just want to have a chance to host it. So yeah. Let's see. Sylvia says Harry told Hoda at the last Invictus Games, and Meghan had gone home to be with the children. He felt it was safer. Well, yeah, I'm sure he rather Meghan with the kids, but also, then he's also, missing his family. He was there, he's there for a whole week without them, and I'm sure he was very happy to get home to them. But it's really nice to see him not be by himself when everybody else have their family there. It's his family, so he wants to be there with his loved one and enjoying those moments with her, because he always also said that he was so happy to have Meghan that he could share this with her. So now they can physically share it together and just enjoy just sitting in the stands and enjoying being there. And so it's really, really great to say. Let's see. Nubian Queen says, I saw one of the Sussex YouTubers supporters saying William is going in the streets of London looking for Nigerian uncles. Well, don't be surprised. That's funny. I'd be out there. Where's my Nigerian peeps? I love that. I love how they have embraced Meghan, and of course, we will never hear the end of this from our Nigerian squaddies like Tina and the rest. Like, oh my gosh, enough, peace and everything. Well, it's just like, oh, we'll never hear the end of this. Let's see. Anne Lewis, hey Anne says the world has noticed how the UK treated and misrepresented their veterans. The truth is out. Not even their mainstream IG. I don't know if the government sent a representative. Disgraceful. Not from the government. I know there are some. I don't know if they're there, but they definitely have posted complimentary things like the defense department, I guess, in the UK. The military, like different military branches, have posted things. I don't know that they're there with them. I know one of them was there. He was the undersecretary of the ambassadors, like an assistant ambassador, if you want to say, from the UK. So I don't know if they're there with them, but yeah, it's just really odd. Look at a big country like the US. Literally, the president put together a delegation, and not only put together a delegation, He announced it. This is my delegation going to the Invictus Games. He posted it on his site so everybody would know that this team going to the Invictus Games is from me. This is what President Biden did, you know? And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like to see that and to see these other countries doing the same thing, it's kind of like it's very obvious when you don't, you know? So I'm like, look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna post this thing on our community page. There was this reporter, and I keep every time I watch this thing, I keep watching it way too much. But there is this reporter in the UK. I don't know what his name is, and it seemed like maybe BBC reporter. I don't know, but he is interviewing this minister from China, basically asking the man if China is a friend or a foe. Are you in competition with the UK? And I'm gonna post that in our community page, and I want you to listen to what that meant. It was, for me, it was the slap down for the ages for the UK. It was literally like, okay, we are the adults and you are a child. You sit at the kids' table, shut up and eat your food. That basically is the gist of what this Chinese minister basically said about the UK. And it's just like, whoa. For me, this is what the UK government needs. They need to understand where they are in the world, in the scheme of the rest of the world. Because a lot of them in the UK have this mentality that, they're still controlling the world. We're still in colonial times where they have power in the world. And they don't understand that they are a very, 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 very tiny fish in a huge ocean. And their relevance is that's in their heads is not real. And so this Chinese, it is just like, oh. And it's very funny that, I haven't seen many people on Twitter, who will come and attack people from the UK, been retweeting it because it is a slap down for the ages. So I'm going to let you guys watch it, but it's like, whoa. And I would love to see, I'll post it there. And if you guys come across it, I'd love to see the whole interview because I'd love to see, someone posted a photo of the reporter's face and it was just like, oh my gosh. I'd love to see what the reporter's comeback would be because it's like after you got slapped down like that, I don't know what you say after. It's just really, really funny. But anyway, I will post it there. You'll see it. Anyway, let's see. And on 95K says, hi Petal, everybody. And Petal, have you seen the new picture of Harry and Meghan at a restaurant? I have not. So I have been on putting together this podcast for a bit. So I have not been back on Twitter. So yeah, no, I have not seen it at a restaurant. So I'm sure I will I'll see it at some point. Sonia says the British Empire is dead, and many in the UK don't seem to realize that, and they still have very colonial mindset. Let's see. Sherry has seen it. Sherry says, I laughed so hard when the Asian minister dressed down the UK and that interview. I'm telling you, that was that was the slap down for the ages. It's like, what do you say when someone say that to you? Like, how do you come back from that? I don't see how you come back from that. It was just like, whoa. Just like, even I was having secondhand embarrassment. It was just like, wow. So, Gift Love says, oh, I love that. Gift Love says, I'm so glad that Harry and Meghan can see how much people love them. Yeah. Especially where they are, it's just, the respect, the love, the care, the just, embrace. It's awesome. And I'm like, if ever they needed to feel loved, if ever they, after the games, they ever feeling like, oh, down or whether they just got to think back to just the love and just, yeah, that they're shown here. So it's so wonderful. Sorry. Gwendolyn says they just don't want to support what Harry is doing because it shows up the royal family for doing nothing. But it makes them look petty. Yeah, well, that's it. It's kind of like it's one of those things. This is not a battle they can win, right? So now what they're doing, and I don't want to talk about it much because it's just really irritating. Now, the British, what is it? The group now that gets the British group ready for the games. Now they're doing this research into whether the Invictus games really help the soldiers, and we'll talk about it after the games. It's very infuriating. And basically, I felt since they changed from the group that was getting the British team to the games, when they changed it over to the group that is now, this is exactly what I expected, because that group that is delivering the British team to the games now, the patron is Prince Charles. The patron, it was the Queen, and now it's, well, King Charles. It's King Charles. And for me, when I saw that the royal family was head of this group, I know from that time when I saw them do it, and there was a whole big hubbub about it, I knew with the royal family getting involved in this way, they would try to undermine the games. Now, some people don't believe that they are trying to undermine the games. I'm sorry, I do not trust the royal family. And anything where it's like, oh, let's do a research, and they're using a university to do a research to basically give it credibility, quote unquote. But anything that has the royal family name to it, I mean, I smell a rat. I smell a huge rat there. And so we'll talk about it after. So I don't want to get in too much with it. But for me, it's just like the royal family, you're right. They don't want to support it because they know that this does make them look bad, because here is Harry. He is no longer a, quote unquote working royal. He's not taxpayer funded. And here he is, the second games since he has left the royal institution, and the games is getting bigger and bigger. And the Commonwealth Games, people are running away from. And this games is really impacting people. So if he is doing better than when he was in the fold, what does that say to them? And how do you justify giving them over 100 and something million pounds? Well, really more like 300 and something, because again, they don't include security into that whole thing. So it does make them look bad. But for me, this is something that they cannot win. This is a game. They are better off. It's like, if I can't beat them, join them. You are better off not joining the Invictus games, but supporting your soldiers so you don't look stupid, than ignoring them. Not only you look stupid, not only do you look petty, not only you look cruel and evil, but your son, whom you have allowed the press to do all this horrible things to, is actually better at doing this than you are, and you are king. So it's kind of like, this is an area they're not going to win in, going against Harry. If that's the reason, like, oh, I'm not supporting because of which, yes, we know that's definitely part of the reason. Now they're claiming like, oh, we as royals, we don't get involved in each other's things. I'm like, this is one you cannot win by not supporting. Because again, you are the head of the military. Not supporting it because, oh, we don't get involved in each other's, whatever projects we're doing, does not help you. And you're ignoring the men and women who are fighting for this country. So if you, the head of the military, are not going to support them, why would they want to go and fight for you? Why would they respect you? Why would they be saluting you? Why would they? It's like, hello, especially when you're giving yourself fake titles that you didn't earn. When you're giving yourself medals that you didn't earn, it's like, hello. So this is not a battle they're better off supporting. At least they can, they can claim like, well, look, we are supporting our veterans. Right now, they are, again, I don't know who advises these people, but they seriously need somebody there with common sense, because that is not, if common sense is nowhere near there. Because anybody with, the brain the size of a pea could tell you the direction that you're going is not the right one, especially when you are the head of the military. These are the men and women who are going to be protecting your country. When they realize that you don't care, why would they want to support you? Why would they put their life on the line for somebody who doesn't care for them? Doesn't make sense. Let's see. Oh yeah, absolutely. They should not be receiving military honors. I mean, hello. I mean, that photo of at the funeral with all of them in their fake costumes and Harry who actually served without it was hello. you know. Um Madwell says, a pedal just like they said they don't get involved in politics, but they do. Exactly. I mean, I hope that people don't still believe that they don't get it. I mean, I hope people are smarter than that by now, at least. Hopefully. I haven't heard anybody say that in a while that, oh, the royals are not in politics. I mean, I would assume people are wiser than that now. So, yeah. Let's see. The Nagorite Israel, aka as Black Cougar 1959. Oh my goodness, that is some name there. Black Cougar 1959. The rest I don't get. The Nogahite, is this like a tribe in Israel? I don't know. Please do tell. But she said, the unroyal mafia would stop at nothing to snatch Invictus away from Harry if they could. And that's the thing. They, what they would try to do is to diminish it, undermine it, which is how the British work. They try to undermine it in whatever way. But I think because we are in a different world and because, back in the day that would work, but because there is social media and you have all of these people reporting on the games all over the world and you have on hand right there in the at the games and so many people, we don't have to rely on the press, their lying press that would distort everything. We don't rely on any of those. So they're undermining it. They could do it in their country because they know the tabloid press would lie for them because they always do. They could try, but the rest of the world is, I mean, we don't need, again, like the Chinese. I'm going to let you watch that. The Chinese person basically tell them, you're a kid. Go sit at the kid's table. Grown-ups are doing stuff. So, yeah. So, unbelievable. Let's see. Kathy Gavi says, of course, Charles wants to get involved on his own terms. Their research will show skewed benefits and support will be heavily managed. Of course. This is control. We're going to try to figure out a way to control. It's like they just have such a colonial mindset that it's like it's all about, they can't just enjoy something that they don't control. They're like the mafia. They have to control something, and it's just like the reason why they hate Harry and Meghan. They can't control them. If they have you under control, they'll lie for you and do all the stuff they will do. But if they can't control you, this is how they behave. It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. They can't just enjoy something that they can't control. Crazy. Oh, Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, says the unroyal family lost a lot of credibility and respect globally. If they are smart, they would stop this asinine smear campaign, apologize, and embrace the Sussexes. It would help their image. In a common sense world, yes, but a lot of their people that they support, that's not their common sense isn't there. They are very much, they live in a bubble where the tabloids tell them what they want to hear, which is not the truth. And so when they come out in the real world and face the truth, it's like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, the people that they're marketing to, they're not. I mean, look at all the things they've done, and they have not lost credibility with them. You know, with the new generation coming up, it's more. They're seeing it and they're like, oh no, 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 you're an emperor with no clothes. But the older generation that has embraced them all the time, they can do no wrong in their eye. I mean, look at what the royal family's been doing, and they still embrace them. So yeah, it's they definitely have lost, credibility with the younger generation and people who don't, who are outside of the royal nonsense and can see the truth. So definitely. So yeah, but within that royalist thing, no, they're still tops. It's just amazing. Um, let's see a few more. Oh, thank you so much, Black Cougar, Black Nego Height Israel, aka as Black Cougar 1959. Thank you for your super sticker. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Anne Lewis says, oh, she's talking to Khadijah. The term spare for a child is a blatant insult and to a child as unwanted. Yes. They should drop the description of the Victoria era. No wonder kids suffer from mental issues. Exactly. And the people of the UK needs to stop with the nonsense as well. They have embraced that whole air spare nonsense, which is abusive. And again, it's a brutal culture. They for some reason, brutality is rewarded and accepted and embraced. And if you go against that, there's something wrong with you. It's unbelievable. It's very, very brutal. Let's see. I'm gonna go all the way down and see what you guys are saying down there. Hello S. S says that S different from Mrs. S. This is S says the unroyal live in an echo chamber that courtiers and media baron prop them up with. They forget too quickly about the booze in Boston. Very quickly. And I don't know if it's somebody manipulated this video or not, but apparently there was, I guess, a football game somewhere where they were playing the national anthem, which is the UK national anthem, which is God Save the King, which I, again, don't understand how you have God Save the King as your national anthem when your anthem should be about the country, not a king, not a person. The same with God Save the Queen. I don't understand why people have I'm not British, so let me shut my mouth on that one. But they were there and trying to play that or sing that or whatever, whomever was performing it, whatever. And the boos you couldn't hear the anthem. It was booed out. And so I saw I don't know if it was maybe an Irish press or Scottish, probably one of the Scottish papers were reporting about it. And it was just like, whoa. So to hear the video, you literally could not hear the anthem. They were booing the whole anthem. And we've seen that before where they booed William and the anthem, but this was just it was shocking how loud it was. It was like, whoa. So they have a lot more problems, especially, and again, it was very poignant because the royal family have been in Scotland for the whole summer. They're at Balmoral, that's where their summer home is, summer palace is. And so that's where they've been. And so I guess this is we don't want you here kind of thing. Unbelievable. But it was rather shocking. It was like, okay. And says King Charles III is king with no clothes, and King Charles III was shocked in Scotland when he was not getting the praise he expected. Will it take a child for the royal to have this explained to them? Explain it like a 2-year-old. I know. But again, living in an echo chamber, you wouldn't hear it from the press. The press will keep with their nonsense of, oh, there was a poll and this person is the most popular and this person is the most popular. Oh, those Sussexes are bad. That's what they've been living at. They have their press to do that nonsense, and then they come out in the real world and it's like, oh, okay, different. Let's see. Helen says, absolutely, Pedal. The senior royals live in gilded cage within a cage. They are shielded from negativity and are jealous of H&M popularity across the pond. And again, the dangers of living in a bubble. Very true, Helen. Oh, thank you for the flowers, my dear. Flowers back to you. um, let's see. Thank you, Niggerhide Israel, aka Black Cougar 1959. Thank you. Let's see. A couple more before we end. We just realized, like, I haven't eaten. I need to go eat some food. Kathy Gabby says, oh, wait. That's a different one. Kathy, your thing just jumped on me there. Pam Porter says the air and despair description is deeply embedded in the aristocracy. I'm like, I cannot speak and pronounce things anymore. It refers to a winner take all approach to inheritance where the firstborn male gets everything. For the royal family, it is destructive. We just need to look at what they did to Harry. Yep, it is extremely destructive. And those cute little kids coming up that they're like, oh, Charlotte, oh, Louis. Yeah, they're next. And we've already seen that they've already put them in their boxes. And they've already, I don't understand why you allow the press to do that. But yeah, William and Kate have already allowed the press to do that to their kids. Kathy Gabby says, Pedal, can you imagine some nation in the Caribbean still God save the king? They no longer rule the world. I would hope nobody would do something that crazy. Definitely not that crazy. I'm like, what? And as we know, a lot of the Caribbean, at least some of the Caribbean islands, that they are still the head of state are trying to get out from under that mess. So, yeah. And still, I don't think, obviously, Charles has not visited any of the Commonwealth countries since he's become king, and he is going to another nation. I'm not even going to say where, that is not Commonwealth. So who knows? He doesn't seem to care all that much. So there you go. Hopefully, the horrible Commonwealth nonsense is going to be dismantled because, again, we're still trying to figure out what that mess is. Helpful to no one. Lolo Megan, yes. Her Nigerian name. Let's see, a couple more. Mia Sylvester. Hi, Mia. How are you? Mia, I don't think I've seen you here before. Again, I could have forgotten, but if it's your first time, welcome. Says, she's talking to Andrea with no click on Netflix. I can see Heart of Invictus here in the Netherlands. Oh, cool. I'm assuming it's everywhere. So it's great that you're able to see it there. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Mia. So if you are in the Netherlands and you have not seen it, just jump over there and see Heart of Invictus. Yvette says, Harry is ready for the family cookout. Oh, he's been invited for a long time. Definitely. And I'm sure Tina is over there getting her jollof rice ready for Meghan and Harry. Let's see. Pambota says Louis and Charlotte are next. The narrative is already set. Where basically William W and K allow it because they had no choice. The tabloid owned them, and which is sad. Again, it's just one of those things. Wouldn't it be easier to let the tabloids, whatever they got on you, just put it out there? Let's get and get out from under their thumb and under this contract. I mean, Harry just was like, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to go, you want to come against me? Go ahead. Shoot your best shot. But I will not be, I will not be bullied by you, and I'm not going to do what you say. And so wouldn't it be easier for them, yes, I'm sure whatever they have might be embarrassing for a while and destructive for a while, but At least you'd be out from under them, you know. So, but I guess they're not willing to, you know, suffer whatever it is they know the tabloid have. So, anyways, Leslie, how are you? How you are awesome, Leslie. Hope you are having fun, my dear. Um, but anyway, guys, I think that's it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome mother. Wait, there was Lydia here. Did I miss Lydia? Lydia, Church, Nelly. I don't know if they're here because I didn't see them. But oh, Naughty Doctor. I didn't even know you were here. So many people I missed. Nice to know that you're here. And I see Rafaela is here as well. Hello, Rafaela. I've missed quite a few people. I was just like scrolling up here. But anyways, thank you to our awesome moderators, if they're here or not. Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, who I know is here, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen. Thank you guys so much for taking care of our chat, making sure it's nice and safe away from trolls. And please, guys, don't another thing, when we're on the live stream for Dusseldorf, just, I'm sure trolls are gonna come in there. Just literally ignore them. They're just trying to steal your attention. Ignore them. Hopefully, the moderators at Invictus will take care of them. Don't even refer to them. They're just trying to get you distracted. Don't even, just literally ignore them. So, anyways, so thank you to our awesome moderators who make sure that our chat is safe. And if they somehow get in, they kick them out. So we don't have to deal with them. I appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for our 2 cents crew who support the channel monthly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And all our wonderful Gold Star supporters who support the chat here, as you can see, whether it's a donation or super stickers or super chat. Thank you all so much again. Anyways, huge thanks to everyone for all of your support. I appreciate it. So next time we come back, we have a lot more, obviously, Invictus stuff. And again, this is going through Saturday, and I'm sure there's going to be amazing more coverage, and I will try to get as much photos and stuff from the games as possible, just in case you don't have access to it. And also, again, if you want to watch the games live, definitely jump over to YouTube, Invictus Dusseldorf's YouTube page. They are covering the games live, so you can keep up with that as well. So anyways, guys, I love you all. Have a fantastic Thursday, and I will see you all next time. Bye.